Good evening, everybody. I am Deandra Adams, and this week we're talking about audience analysis. And we're going to speak on the four components of ethos: your character, your competence, your caring, and your charisma. All of these things that really drive you to be relatable to your audience, that really gives a great speech. The video I chose, the TED Talk I chose, was Imposter Syndrome, spoken and written by Mike Cannon-Brookes. Reason why I chose this is because as someone who is often in and out of the entrepreneurial world, I too suffer sometimes with imposter syndrome. And this was just 100% relatable to me as a person. Mike takes us on a journey, an experience of him having and dealing with imposter syndrome. Let's speak a little bit about Mike's character. Mike's speech was brilliant. His character, he had tremendous character. Let me just put that out there. He was honest, he was genuine. When he really speaks about his success. And because Mike was vulnerable and telling us these stories of his entrepreneurial journey, we really got to see Mike as a person. And in seeing that, we got to see not just this wealthy CEO, but we got to see a man who was dealing with an imposter inside, believing that someone's going to knock on his door and say, hey, you've done enough foolishness, enough is enough, get a real job, you're no good at this. But that's not true. And we notice that as we go in to see the competency in his presentation, in his speech, he really talks about the entrepreneurial awards that he received for his company. Started off small and continued to grow big. He won 2 entrepreneurial awards from Sydney, Australia. And then he still was suffering from imposter syndrome so bad that the first award ceremony that they won, he didn't even go to. Then when they were moved on to the global scale, his company won that too. And as he's sitting there still believing that he's this imposter, we really see who he is. But he's extremely competent, extremely prepared. He really goes in depth about how he did the research to become who he is and his preparedness for this speech that he had prepared for us. Plus, Mike doesn't strike me as the type of person that's going to half-ass anything. He's really going to push through and do the research and everything that it takes to really get to where he needs to be. Is Mike caring? Did he show that in his speech? He didn't have any questions to talk to the audience and talk back to me. It just wasn't that type of forum. But through his storytelling, he showed how caring he was, especially when he talks about how he met his wife in the airport and she thought he was somebody that he wasn't. How ironic, imposter syndrome. But he still pushed through. And he was able to come on top of all of that and continue to keep going. Is he charismatic? I already told you. He doesn't seem like the type of guy that's going to give up at anything. He's going to continue to push till he gets what he wants. Mike, as he tells us all of these stories, but he's not overly enthusiastic, extremely active, suit, shirt, and tie wearing. That's not Mike. He didn't need to do all of that. That jean, polo, baseball cap wearing CEO did a dynamic job. I want to talk about some takeaways, just in case you didn't see the video. Don't question yourself. It's one of the things that Mike taught us. Question your ideas and question the knowledge, but don't question your capability to be able to do it. Don't freeze up. And if you do, push through it. And turn all of those imposter syndrome feelings into a force for good. Mike seems like one heck of a guy. Well, that's my time. And I will tell you this. Let's go Red Sox. Bye, guys. Have a good one.